My name is Ariel, and I'm Superstar Director of Nomad Tribe, #It'sYourMove, and I'm here to talk to you about the wonder of community. What does hearing that make you feel? One definition of the word community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. So when I hear the wonder of community and that definition I just read, I feel hope and excitement and possibility. If you don't have a feeling one way or the other yet, my next questions are, what does your community look like now? And what do you want your community to look like? Once you have a solid vision of what you want it to look like, then ask yourself how that feels. Then write that feeling down so you can have it as a reminder. We are hardwired to take action based off of our emotions. So if we control the emotions we are feeling, the actions we take will be intentional. Easier said than done, I know. It takes practice and repetition. How does that tie into recruiting and sponsoring? I'm really glad you asked. When you have that clear feeling of what you want your community to be, and you have the vision in your mind of what it will look like, your mind will start subconsciously seeking those things out in people. You will be drawn to people with those traits and characteristics, and as the saying goes, your vibe attracts your tribe. So many people join Scentsy for the paychecks or the products, but I'd wager to bet a majority stay for the friendships and the community. Growing your community by recruiting takes some courage and bravery. You have to be willing to make the ask, aka inviting people to join Scentsy and start their own business with you helping to guide them. Whether it's someone you've known for a week or someone you've known for years, the ask is so important. And as we talked about earlier, more often than not, we act based on how we feel. So it is super important to detach yourself from the outcome of your ask because you have no control over that. And that's okay. Your job is to make the offer. And that's where that courage and bravery come in. There are a couple factors that come into play when you do detach yourself from the outcome. It removes that feeling of being pushy when you're making the offer, and it lifts a huge weight off your shoulders. It also allows the person that you are asking to be able to talk freely with you, knowing that their yes or no is truly okay with you. Detaching feelings from the outcome also helps remove that feeling of talking yourself out of it. It doesn't allow your brain to take over and start convincing you of all the ways the situation could go. So, what can that ask look like? In my experience, it is different for every person, and that's probably relatable. Oftentimes, the conversation is one of, it just makes sense. Maybe they have a large monthly club order, or their fundraiser was super successful, or their personality is just magnetic and they are a natural. It's important to shift the conversation to being personal when you can, so that you start with showing them that you have belief in them for specific reasons. And try your best to keep it simple when having recruiting conversations, and try not to over-educate or talk during the conversations. Give them enough details that they can think about it, but that also sparks more questions that they can come back and ask. And when they end up saying yes, the recruiting conversation then shifts to a sponsoring conversation. Whether you already have a community or you are working on that community that you had envisioned, you have all the tools that you need to sponsor in the workstation. I know it's hard, especially for creative types, but you do not need to reinvent the wheel. And I want to say that again because I want you to hear and learn from my mistakes of trying to reinvent the wheel. Everything you need to sponsor is in your workstation. The really cool thing is that as time goes on and you keep building your community and having more conversations and sponsoring more people, you will find systems and checklists that work for you naturally. But don't let yourself get lost in the process of trying to make it perfect. Your new people don't need perfection. They just need the next step and to know that you have their backs. I love being part of people's journeys. Sometimes I find myself getting lost in that checklist of things and forgetting to be present. But I'm human and constantly working to be the best version of me that I can. And a gentle reminder, recruiting, sponsoring, and building your community can look however you like. You don't have to have it look exactly like somebody else's community. I enjoy helping people see their potential and showing them ways to succeed. I'd be lying if I said that the possibility of a no-ceiling income isn't appealing. But it's not just for the money. It's what the money could do. How many more lives could I impact? How many more ways could I give back? How can I change my own family's lives with a no-ceiling income? Again, I feel that hope and excitement and possibility. As you're on this entrepreneurial journey, I want to encourage you not to give up when the going gets tough, because it will. There will be valleys and there will be peaks, but as long as you continue moving forward intentionally, that trajectory will go up. It is so easy to get caught up in the negativity and despair and the comparison and letting what other people may be thinking or saying about you bring you down. But what other people think or say about you is none of your business. And I say that with gentleness and compassion and understanding. And staying on your course is so important. Staying consistent and disciplined, even if you don't feel like it, is super imperative. Just remember that you are in charge of those emotions and the reactions you have or the actions you take. On the recent leadership cruise, Deb Bowden shared a list of life's lessons of parenthood learned along the way, but there are so many that were very fitting for entrepreneurs. And I'm going to super simplify it and just share a couple that I think that would be helpful if you kept in mind and could be so beneficial to building your community and your confidence. It is okay to struggle and expect stress. We work for ourselves. It is not going to be all sunshine and roses. Ask questions and get curious. That is so beneficial to growth. Accept help. Believe in yourself. Ask forgiveness. This one's hard. Forgive yourself. Review and revise expectations. You are in charge of your own expectations of yourself and others. Take ownership of that. Initially, your community might not even be your upline, sideline, downline. You could connect with someone else in our huge Scentsy community who's nowhere near your team, but they help motivate and push you. Your community can be a place where people work together to share ideas and encourage and uplift each other as you grow. I heard it said recently that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So figure out how you want to feel, then build up and lean into your community as often as you can. And find that wonder of community.